Blog Talk Radio.
F-A-T-C-A-D, and you're rocking the Fat Cat Show. This is my show. F-A-T, watch the time on you.
Say it one more time.
F-A-T-C-A-D, and you're rocking the Fat Cat Show. This is my show. F-A-T, watch the time on you.
Here we go. No matter what you say, I'ma spit it how I spit it, so you niggas can't forget it. Everybody is a critic. I walk in the dark with my chronicles critic, with my game up the bar, so your girl will let me hit it. Damn, man, my show's simply marvelous. You can stop the hating and debating, you can't argue this. Cause if you found something better, you would sit Moretta while wearing an ugly sweater. But my show you listening, so stop the whimpering. This is for the sinners and the born again Christians. Turn to Philippians. Nope, you can miss me then. If you wanna talk, pick my number, you can hit me then. Cause you know my show is rocking. Fat Cat, remember that when your girl is shocking. When them headphones are knocking. Fat Cat Show and you don't stop the knocking.
F-A-T-C-A-D, and you're rocking the Fat Cat Show. This is my show. F-A-T, watch the time on you.
Say it one more time.
F-A-T-C-A-D, and you're rocking the Fat Cat Show. This is my show. F-A-T, watch the time on you.
Here we go.
Yo. What's cracking? You rocking with your boy, the sinister minister, the deacon, the Rabbi Raymond Noodle, the chaplain of fried chicken's last rites. Y'all know who it is. That's Fat Cat. And I don't quite know where my dog is today. So anyway, we gonna do our thing regardless. But what's going on with everybody out there? What's going on with everybody? As usual, you know what this is. This is the Fat Cat Show, and with your host Fat Cat. And doing it a little different today. Couldn't find my co-host, but that's all right. We still gonna have a good show. And once again, if you're watching us right now, I want you to go to YouTube, subscribe to that channel, the Fat Cat Show Network. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. And make sure you can check us out on Stitcher. You can check us out on iHeart. You can check us out on Spotify. Tune in, all the above platforms that's right before you. What's up, Janine? I see you in there. But we just right now, we just want to say, as we do all the time, happy birthday to those that are celebrating birthdays. Hallelujah. Yes, it is good to be definitely in the land of the living. And also, just like we got life, we got death. And the Fat Cat Show want to send our condolences, our heartfelt condolences to those who may have lost people. As I always been saying now for the last year and a half, this has been somewhat of a somber moments for me and my family. We have we lost the matriarch and the patriarch of our family last year in 2019, losing my grandfather. This year we lost my grandmother in April. Matter of fact, they both passed in April. And my wife, she lost her grandfather behind mine, and then she lost her grandmother behind mine, then cousins and all that. We just lost a cousin in Chicago. By the way, I want to tell my Chicago family, keep your head up, stay with God, lean on him, and he shall direct your path. And just, it's hard out here, just dealing with death, period. We don't foresee it. You can't foresee it, but sometimes some people go in sickness. And one thing that I really would require people, make sure you go get you some life insurance, because people are just leaving here, and that's the last thing you want to do is leave that burden on family and loved ones, because we gotta start taking care of things properly. Because the same thing with some people say, hey, I can't afford it. But if we can afford, excuse if we can afford weed, if we could afford alcohol and all that, just for that amount of money, you can go slap some life insurance on yourself and your loved ones, because it's important. We dropping like flies out here, and we don't want to leave that burden on our family. I'm seeing that happen too many times in the GoFundMe accounts and all that. That shouldn't be happening like that. We gotta take life and death more serious, especially in this time. We in the COVID stage, and I don't want to sound like Trump when he said people are dying that never died before, but it's a lot of people that's dying. They dropping dead. So we don't want to be caught off guard by that. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you handle your business. Anyway, I wanted to get into something right quick. And I saw this on the news today, and this topic is basically talking about taking life-risking bets. And I just seen this story, and I think it happened in, Inkster or something, one of them Michigan little towns and stuff, where this guy decided to take a little bet, and it ended tragically for him. And so we're going to go into the video, and I want you to make sure you like I said once again, like and share this video that you're watching right now, the Fat Cat Show. Make sure you like and watch it, and after this video, we're going to discuss it. And if you want to comment on anything, I need to test these lines anyway, because they've been acting real funny lately. That number is 646-564-9728. Make sure you press that 1 if you want to comment. Let's go into this video.
First, a tragedy in Belleville as a man loses his life over a bet. Topping our news tonight at 11, the 30-year-old father tried to swim across a pond late last night.
It happened within an apartment complex in Belleville. Jason Colthorpe is at the Van Buren Township Police Department tonight, where he's been talking to police about this bet. Jason.
This was a $1,000 bet that by all accounts Cedric Collins didn't want to take, but police say he was goaded into getting in the water by the 15 or so people who were there. He made it about halfway before going under the water. A fun gathering of several friends Thursday night turned deadly at the Southport Apartments in Belleville. Behind Building 14 is a large pond, and police arrived just after 9 when 30-year-old Cedric Collins of Ypsilanti slipped under the water and didn't come up.
There was someone in the group that had placed a bet with this gentleman that went out in the water, and they bet him $1,000 that he couldn't swim across.
Witnesses tell Local 4 there was some testosterone-fueled peer pressure here, including some name-calling to get Collins to take the bet. Police are reviewing video some people recorded on their phones of the incident.
Him going into the water, you could tell he was very timid about going into the water. It looked like he was very uncomfortable.
Van Buren Township's dive team found him about 9:30.
Our victim was 163 feet offshore in 7 feet of water when we found him. It's a big pond. We're not talking small, and very large body of water for a retention pond.
Police say any initial rescue attempts by the 15 to 20 people there were aborted quickly with darkness setting in. They're also reviewing exactly what led up to Collins jumping in.
If there is something that's criminal or something that we can pursue, a man lost his life over this, and absolutely we're going to pursue it.
The apartment complex refused to comment on this, and at this time police say they're not sure if alcohol played a factor. In Van Buren Township, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
First, a tragedy in Belleville as a man loses his life
Wait a minute.
over a bet.
This is
Topping our news tonight at 11, the 30-year-old father tried to...
But anyway, I just want to say this, and this is no disrespect, because the young man anytime anybody lose their life, it's always a deep tragedy. But one thing that I do want to say is that the people that irked him to take that bet, how do you feel? How do you feel? I know the young man had, he kind of, he could make up his own mind and stuff like that. But sometimes, we living in a desperate world where people to do desperate things for money. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what was on that young man mind. They said he was kind of timid to take the bet at first, but then he took the bet, and the people that sat around, I think it was like 20 or something of them sitting around, and I wonder how the ones that irked him must have felt. That's gonna be on your conscience for the rest of your life. I just hope that that they recognize that and irking somebody on to their death. And I think they said they were going to look into some that might be criminal charges as far as them irking that man on, because it happened a couple of years ago with a young lady who egged her boyfriend up to commit suicide, and he ended up doing it, and they ended up charging her. So I don't know how the law is in Michigan for that, but it definitely could happen. You could be what they say, culpable, or in murder if you assist. It's almost like assisted suicide. I could just imagine that's a big pond. And sometimes we do silly stuff, and like I remember like me doing risky stuff back in the day. I remember but never in my adulthood. I'm a little bit too smart for that. I'm not letting nobody egg me on for nothing. But I remember back, I think I was like 11, 12 or something, and we were jumping ramps at the playground, and it just so happened that they raised the ramp up real high this time, and nobody was really trying to jump this ramp. And a couple of the guys, it was like, we'll bet you such and such $5 is such and such to jump the ramp. And so I'm like, looking at it, and I'm like, wow, I don't know, but $5 would be nice. And back in the 80s, $5 would get you a long way. You can get a couple of pack of annihilators and all that type of stuff. So anyway, I jumped this ramp, but it didn't end the way that I thought it should, and I came down wrong, and I still got a mark on my body to this day for jumping that ramp. But that was like child stuff. I think another time, little silly story. Me and my cousin, we were sitting down. I think my grandfather had just got out the hospital. This time he had some neck surgery, and so we was doing this thing where we was tying the belt in the around our leg and our neck, and see who could balance the longest. But needless to say, that went kind of tragic though, and I was falling all over the place and all that, and my grandmother had to come take that loose me from that belt, and my cousin laughing and stuff, and I almost choked to death. So it's just things like that we can't be doing, especially and it's not to talk about the young man, 30 years old now. He, his kids don't have a father and stuff like that, and I don't know if he was married or not or stuff, but that's real tragic. We don't want incidents like this to keep happening. But anybody that want to comment on any of this, have you ever did a silly bet in your life that almost cost you your life? That number is 646-564. Thank you. 564-9728. Press 1 if you want to comment. Mean Queen, have you ever did a silly bet before that almost cost you your life? I just want to see. I know we all did some silly stuff before. Wait a minute, let me get this off my screen. I don't like that, but that is some real tragic, heartbreaking stuff. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the guy was at least gonna be white or something, because I'm not saying, I just, when you hear certain things, you tend to think of something. No sir, you never did anything silly. Nothing. I know you had to take some silly bet or something, because they always bet. Me and we so competitive. We always betting with each other. I bet you won't go talk to that girl. I bet you won't. And then when you was younger, I bet you won't slap that girl on the butt. I bet you won't do this. I bet you won't do that. We always betting each other to do crazy stuff, and the peer pressure and stuff can be real, especially if you're not strong-minded enough to handle it. So I just don't know. That was real tragic right there, and I feel bad for the man's family, and I just hate that happened like that. But anyway, I want to move on to our next little subject. Didn't plan on Squeeze, but I saw that and I had to kind of like add that on in there. Women don't do that. Yeah, y'all don't. Y'all shopping. Y'all shop though. Y'all go in your husband's wallets and all that stuff. Yeah, we stay betting. Yeah, but nothing that would kill. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We stay doing that type of stuff, and it's crazy. So I just don't know. I really don't know. But the next item up for bids. But the casino's opening. This is crazy to me. Now, Governor Nitwit, I ain't gonna talk about her because she kind of like under pressure. But I just don't understand how other areas could be closed down. I mean, you limiting the bar space to 10 people. You limited all this other things. And I know it's the background politics, the underground politics that we don't see. Thanks, man. The underground politics that we don't see. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, dang, like I already knew before this thing started discussing about sending kids back to school. I already knew I wasn't sending my kids. My kids was not going. I don't give a dog on if Vladimir Putin, if Bishop Desmond Tutu, all of them got together and said, "Hey, send your kids to school." It wasn't gonna happen. But for them now to kind of like, say, open up the casino, open up the casinos. What is 15%? 15% of what? What does that count? Because I used to work at Greektown Casino as security, and I know all the contact that you have in dealing with patrons. You grabbing. One of our major things is to keep minors out of the casino. So we grabbing and touching IDs. We don't know where it is, where people hands been, what they dealing with, or all of that. And, you just don't know what you dealing with. And then, people are coughing and they handing you IDs and stuff like that. I haven't heard nothing about any type of contingency plans for the guys to protect themselves and stuff like that. So it's really task, and I know these guys gotta be nervous about that. And then it's always people that think, this virus, this ain't nothing, this is a hoax and stuff like that. How many people gotta die before you recognize that? Howard Stern said when Vegas opened up, you already know these other were going to happen soon. It's criminal elements and everything else operating in them joints. Yeah, that's pressure. She probably ain't really have no real choice in the matter. Yeah. You know what? The thing that should be with this dummy president, Trump, when Herman Cain died, that thing gotta be really beating his conscience up. When Herman Cain died of that stuff, I'm hoping all these people look at that right now and say, yeah, we dealing with a real idiot. We really dealing with an idiot. But then racist people are idiots anyway, so they don't see. And I don't understand how the most poor people can be racist. It be most of it be the trailer trash people that be the most racist people that I just really don't understand it. And most of us are in the same boat. You know, Trump don't give a damn about you or us. So I don't understand how that could be, how they can back a president that really don't give a damn about him. And I just feel bad for my comrades, because I know if I was still working at one of the casinos, I couldn't go back. No, I'm not bringing nothing back home to my family. Not at all. Not at all. But I wish some of my comrades would call. If so, that number is 646-564-9728. Press 1 if you want to comment. But pretty soon. Wait a minute. You said that's how it's been since Civil War, Reconstruction, same poor white trash. Yeah, and it's not that we want to talk about it. It's nerve wracking when you see one of them on there. You doggone naggers! I can't stand not one of you naggers. I can't stand that. And you just sitting there being so racist, and you like, man, do you know? And I try not to, I had so many, since doing the podcast, I had so many racist things happen on this show, and you just have to laugh at it sometimes. I had somebody, in one of the shows put up a watermelon, man black dude eating a watermelon and all that. It's crazy, but I ain't falling for that joke. But anyway, I want to get into one more topic before get into the main topic of today, and this is going to really say a lot of things. With me being going into ministry, and I had this. I was looking in this minister's manual, and I was reading. Wait a minute. Let me see one more thing. Thinking about it, when it was built for you and you still ain't, I'm sure that should make you angry. Yeah, it do. Yeah, that gotta be the ultimate failure. Knowing that this world is basically built for white. This society is built for white people. And if you dirt poor and you white and they don't give a damn about you, that gotta be like you a reject. You basically a reject. Like, wow, how low can you sink? But anyway, being a minister, and I was looking at the vows, and I know this is gonna piss some ladies off right now, but anyway, this is just talk, so don't shoot the messenger. And I was looking at the different vows, and I don't know if women ever notice that our vows are different. There's two different, just one different word within the vows that we take. And one of it, they say, with the men, they say to honor. They say honor in our thing, but in the women, they say honor and obey. Honor and obey. Don't shoot me now. But that's what it says. Honor and obey. So what do y'all think about that? What do you think, man? Because I know I was just talking to my wife about that, and I remember when my grandfather married me and my wife, and it came up, but I really didn't pay attention to it because a lot of people they get on the topic and they say, hey, a lot of this stuff is sexist and stuff like that. We live in a different time, but I know different people, right, that have their own vows. It's different type of vows, but I know the major traditional Baptist church marriage keeps that honor and obey in there for the women. And I know a lot of these women now aren't buying it. How would you feel if I'm talking to the ladies, how would you feel if you went to your wedding and you at your wedding, you standing at the aisle ready to get married, and the pastor says to honor and obey. Honor and obey. I said that to my wife. She said, "Oh, that don't count for me." Oh, yes it do. Oh, yes it do. But not like we trying to be taskmasters. I know it's a lot of things that we have to expect as men when dealing with our wives and stuff. A lot of people are, and I'm seeing this thing even within the Black Lives Matter movement, where these women are trying to get rid of the nuclear family. And that's the first time I heard that term, nuclear family. And now, the nuclear family eliminates the man. So it's like, wow, like we really, endangered species. So, but I ain't gonna get off into that because that's gonna open up another topic. But women, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the honor and obey? And if anybody is listening right now, and if you want to call in, that number is 646-564-9728. Press 1 if you want to comment. Man, I'm just telling you. Wait a minute. Howard Stern says most women who argue about the obey part have chosen suitors who they don't even respect as leaders. So the obey part angers their ass, when in reality, if she ain't understanding of that, then she probably made the wrong choice in dues. Thank you. But the thing that I can't understand is that, and I'm not speaking for all women, I'm just saying that most of the time, the man that is the easygoing type dude that will really take care of his woman, that really loves hard on his woman, that ain't the one they love. They want some of that thug passion. That's the one that they really would, we call a man. Me and Satellite call a man. They want that man guy, that tough edge guy, And I don't understand it for the life of me. They give him the world. Man don't have the problems that men have that really love their woman, because man don't give a care. Man will look at that woman and tell him get out. Man will look at her like, man, you get out. I ain't going nowhere. Or man probably want to go because he got another little dime piece somewhere, and it's just and they'll deal with this dude. And they'll be in love with this dude that don't really love him. And but when you mention that they'll marry man if he allow him to marry him, and if that obey part come up, they ain't got no problem obeying man. But let it be somebody that's easygoing, Dexter, St. Jock or something, like Eddie Murphy said. Dexter, that with glasses and got a good credit score and stuff like that, and just take care of them, and probably taking care of kids. That you notice that it always be them men that get the bold woman that he don't got no kids, but he'll take care of some kids that's not even his. You know what I'm saying? And then they give them the hardest time. What's up with that? Why do good guys finish last all the time? You know, you can't never have that. Man, I know a couple right now. The woman is with, I'm not saying no names, but man, she be dogging this guy out so bad. So bad. Duncan Pender Hughes, yeah. Class act. All the time, man. Just like what? I don't understand that. I want a lady right now to clear that up for me. Matter of fact, Mean Queen, just clear that up for me. But I wasn't no. But I'm sort of a lame, I could say. I picture myself. Well, back in the day, I used to tear the clubs up, but now I don't. I just outgrew that. I don't know. I'm becoming my grandfather, but I was always known as an old man, though. But I didn't come up in households like that. I came up in that traditional type, like little Christian household where I was raised by a minister, a pastor. So I wasn't subject to a lot of things. Like, probably in most of these households, these dudes learn how to smoke weed by the time they 2. They learn how to pop a bottle off a beer when they 3. So it's, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dog, I was a late bloomer when it came to a lot of things because we were sheltered with a lot of things. Our grandparents didn't allow us to do a lot of things. We wasn't allowed to go to the mall with our friends and stuff like that. So it's, I don't know. But anyway, I'm not getting too many comments with the vows. I guess a lot of people don't. A lot of women, I guess, either they happy about the vows or what. I'm gonna make sure when me and my wife do our renewing of our vows, we go right back over it again with the honor and obey. I like that part right there. But anyway, I want to get into our topic for today. And our topic for today is, do you believe in karma? And did you ever have a karma moment? And I would have to say yes. I'm matter of fact, I did so much dirt in my life before, not intentionally, but I was just a young man that I'm still waiting for a shoe to drop. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I was just a young person that did a lot of silly stuff that hurt people in the past. And I pray that, I asked for forgiveness for it, but most of the stuff that I dealt with as far as karma was relationship type things. I never was the one that I never ripped nobody off. I never did things like that because I didn't believe in it. And even in relationships, I never messed with married women or nothing like that. It was just them other things when, you young and you think you Mr. Play and stuff like that. And like, I really hurt a lot of people that, playing that field when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? But I know, I think that's why early, even though it seemed like it was when I first got with my wife, it just seemed like I was a little bit more protecting because I was thinking like, man, this too good to be true for, and I know some karma got to come back on me. And it held me up from really opening myself up kind of early, to her, because I was still scared that that other shoe was going to drop. And then you look at, and then when she proposed, when we got to talking about marriage, and I got to thinking about the average marriage now, and you got women now, they're not made like, couples are not made like your grandparents are made. like, I think my wife's grandparents are married like 60, 70 years or something. One of them 60 to 70 years, and my grandparents the same thing. And now you see the average marriage right now that will end at like they'll be married. Some of them be married 30 years or 40 years and then decide to get a divorce. And you like, where we going at this point? Where, what do you want? You want a new sugar daddy or something? Where we going? I'm looking at Dre and his wife, 24 years and gone. By the way, I found out Dre did have that prenup. I knew he had to be a little bit smarter than that. I found out but she's still gonna get tore off. Hiring that high price lawyer and stuff like that. But they said that she failed to mention that with, when in her filing. But I think about that. I'm trying to think of a karma issue that came back on me, and it was like, I think it was this was in my 20s. I had a young naive girl, no, probably 18, 19, if you want to count them relationships right there. I don't count nothing, in your teens. You really don't count none of that stuff, because you really just learning yourself and stuff like that. But I know that my experience was, I just thought I was the man, and I thought I could, that the girl was so in love with me, and that I could do anything that I wanted to do. And primarily I blame that type of behavior on how I was taught by some of the men that was around me. If you notice, I know Hood Howard, you know about this, the men that really be dominant in our lives most of the time. I don't know your relationship with your father or none, but you just say something about like your uncle or something like that. They'll ask you, you got a girlfriend, you should have about 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? That'd be the first words of advice that they give you. You ain't got no, and it's always a down. I think right around the time when we really started getting into talking to girls, we always made it a game where we would, who could get the most numbers, who could do this. I know women don't do that type stuff, but men, we do that type stuff. Who could get the most numbers? Who the man? Who, all this and that. And that was some of the games and stuff that we did. So ladies, don't, it ain't you all the time. It's just our ego. We got this thing called an ego, man, that just, that just take place. I don't do none of that now, but I just look back at some of the things that I used to do, and I'm like, dang, man, I would have saved myself a lot of trouble if I wouldn't have. But I think having that attitude saved me from a lot of bad relationships also. So I have to think of it like that too, because but we never think of the reverse effect of karma and how it could come back. But this particular girl, she little did I know that she was playing that innocent role, but she wasn't innocent. You know what I'm saying? And she was getting them in just like I was. And so but the thing about us, when that karma hit us, man, we take it harder. A woman could, unless you that woman that torched her boyfriend's car and stuff like that, you have some of these emotional men that go to that extent. And I remember just going through that, and that pain was real, man. That pain, boy, had me like man, I don't know. I know it's a lot of men. We hate to admit pain. We hate to admit our pain. We hate to admit shedding tears for something, because that's another stereotype with men. We think that crying crying and being, letting our emotions show is weakness. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got so many powder keg men walking around here right now, ready to explode on each other. That's why all of this shooting and killing is going on right now, because we holding in so much bottled emotion because we don't release it. We don't give ourselves chance to release that anger and stuff like that. I remember one of the last relationships before I got to my wife, I was real angry, at the person, because I really tried to be right, but I knew that in the beginning, I kind of knew that this person was wrong, the wrong person, but I was trying to, like Willie D say, change her, make her be an angel, but it put me in a bad situation, real bad. And I just hate I had to go through the emotions to even recognize that hey, I made the wrong decision. But I know a lot of people are dealing with this. I know somebody that's on Periscope looking right now, somebody that's on YouTube that may be watching. I know that everybody went through these type of things, and me and you, we ain't gonna admit a lot of stuff, but sometimes we try our best to even when we like a woman in the beginning, I just say in the beginning, if we like you, we try our hardest not to let you know that we we like you. We be like, you may ask us, babe, you love me, and you be like, you all right, you all right, because we think that word love is weak, and that's the thing. And then we always thinking back to karma, coming back for all the other bad stuff that we did in our past. We know it's coming back. I believe in that universal theory that you biblically too, that you reap what you sow. And I just believe that some way that we are all kind of tied to each other. So when you put something out there, that ripple effect come and it goes back around, and it's going to smack you. It's going to come back around and smack you some way, because we all kind of like tied to each other somehow. And I really do believe that, just like when I realized that a person that I worked with for 13 years was my cousin. Didn't even know, but we all are kind of like tied to somebody directly or indirectly. We all affect each other in some way. And so I do believe in that. That's why I do subscribe to that theory. What goes around comes around. I do believe in that, because I done seen it personally myself. I done seen things that I did come back around full circle and smack me. So I don't know. Who out there, have you ever did something? Have you ever had a karma moment? If you have, that number is 646-564-9728. Press 1 if you want to comment. I know somebody out there gotta have a moment like that. I know my trusty sidekick Satellite, man, he probably done had so many moments. I don't know, but with me, man, I just I know I love my wife, and I prayed, long marriage and good things in our life. And I know, my wife loves me, but I just don't want to get to that. I don't want to get to that point where, some people get 50 years in and they begin to hate each other and all of that stuff, and like one of the funny, I ain't gonna say funny, but one of the strangest things I seen, even before my grandparents passed, that, a lot of things that, and I think this must happen to everybody, a lot of things that my grandmother must have been harboring and turning, because my grandfather, he could be dominant, in his decision, because back then, the role was different. The man was looked at as the big dog of the house. He guarded the house, and the woman stayed home and worked. I mean, she stayed home and cleaned the house, and the man worked. And so, they listened to their men more like that. But now women feel like, shoot, if I got to go to work, shoot, and pay bills like you, shoot, I got just as much say as you do. And matter of fact, I don't want to stay home and do that. I mean, and women don't get me wrong, women are doing big things out here. Y'all doing real big things, and I applaud that. Yeah, y'all doing real big things, and it's a lot of real successful women out here, especially black women. Y'all doing real big things out here, and no knock on that. I just say when you get into that family element, we can make decisions together, but it can only be one chief. It gotta only be one chief. There gotta be one chief. Everybody can't. It gotta be somebody. Even on a basketball team, everybody gotta go, but you got a go-to guy that when things get tight, you throw that rock to them and let them, and move out of the way and let them do their thing. And so I think every team, every couple got to have that go-to person. And sometimes it may be a woman. I know it's certain things that my wife can take care of that I can't. My wife real good on paying the bills. Sometimes just really she's good at organizing. I'm not a good organizer, and my wife she'd take over that quick. Like, babe, I got this. You let me handle this, and blah blah. Just give me the money or something. And let me handle this thing. And I'm like, okay, sure. And I trust her to do it. And it's some things that I do. Mostly, just being a loving husband and protector, and I just appreciate the woman that God gave me, and I know He gave you to her because she's so divine. So, I'm trying to get my brownie points up, y'all. But anyway, I'm just wondering about that. Who out here had a karma moment? Where are my karma people at? What happened, and what did you do, and what happened? Once again, if you want to comment on any of this, that number is 646-564-9728. Press 1 if you want to comment. Y'all know what's up. We got 12 more minutes, and if you want to comment, let's get it in. This show is made for you. This is made for you right now. I see people commenting all over on Facebook. All day they talk about several topics and this and that. And what was your karma moment? What was that thing, or are you still waiting on something to happen? Not that you want anything to happen, but you know how life is. Life is just full of up and downs, and you just don't know what you actually paying for. I remember when things used to happen, your parents used to tell you, well, that's happening for something you did, or that's the universe getting you back for what you did to me. The hard time you gave me and stuff like that. But with my mom, I never tried to give her a hard time or nothing like that. She always said consider me a good child and all that, but I ain't never was that one that she had to come get out of jail or do anything like that, because my mom, she was a single mom for most of my childhood, but she didn't spare that rod, period. She did not spare that rod, boy. She'd tear me up in a heartbeat. But once again, we coming down to 10 minutes, and I want people to get get their comments in. And what was that moment? I know Janine, I don't know if she's still in the room right now. I know Janine, you had some, you lived longer than me, so I know you got some moments. I know you got some moments that you could share about that. You too, Hood Howard Stern. I know you got some, but I don't know. They I look at I just look back over a lot of things that I do, and I always apologize for a lot of the things that I do. I always ask for forgiveness, and I try not to gloat on it too much, because I know that most of the time when people do bad stuff to other people, most of the time it be that they be in pain. And I think that was mostly, I said that back in the day where I was going through doing that type of thing, and I think I was so concerned that I didn't want my feelings hurt, that I was pushing away from a lot of things, in hurting people's feelings. I didn't want my feelings to ever be involved, in dealing with somebody. And I think that was my hurt, still from past relationships and stuff like that. And because like I said, men, we got a lot to, not saying that women, y'all don't have equal amount, but if a man selects the wrong woman, man, it's devastating. I mean, the court's gonna eat us all the way up. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get ate. I think the only woman I seen get tore up in the court before that was a celebrity was Anita Baker's husband taking her. I think Mary J. Blige, same thing. She got tore up like that. But successful men, or you got something going on deep, man, and you did something wrong, and that karma come back, man, that woman, man, is going to tear you up or tear that bank up, something. And I'm thinking about that, and I hear these women, even when the Dr. Dre thing first came out, and I'm hearing women saying, hey, she obeyed him and stuff like that. Let's do the math. They were together married 24 years, no telling how long they together. Dre been in the game, he came out in 86, but he was with the world class wrecking crew, so they wasn't really making no money. But I know he was doing his thing way before she came around. Now I could say, if he worth, they say, I think his net worth is what, 800 million, something like that. I know he was close to a billionaire, and I know he, just drops in the bucket, but I just don't see her being able to just, is she really worth half of that? You know what I'm saying? And I know she's an attorney or something like that, so she's not really hurt for money. But I think once you're ready to get somebody back, or you angry at a person, you try to hit them where it hurts them the most, and that's that pocketbook. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. So I see Dre. I finally found out that he did have that prenup. Any smart man would have drew that thing out. But I just hate. It just surprised me when couples that been together so long, 50 something years to 60 years. Could you imagine Ashford and Simpson before getting a divorce all them years that you would have been messed up, in today's news, Ashford and Simpson divorcing. You'd be like, damn, for real? They've been together so long, you like, damn, I don't get it. Once again, we got 5 something minutes left And so we want, if you got one last comment, that number, once again, 646-564-9728. Press 1 if you want to comment. And this is a pretty good day today. I got to say that. Real good. What else happened before we close out in the news? Dang, I had something on my mind that was going on. One of my favorite sports radio show guys, that Jamie Samuelson from 97.1 A Ticket, colon cancer thing, man. That's another thing. Men over 40, man, we gotta start doing things differently. We gotta get that colonoscopy and stuff like that. I just had mine. Was it this year or last year? I think it was this year. This year, and I think he said he caught his at the wrong time, and they diagnosed him with colon cancer, and I didn't know, and he ended up dying at 48. We dying too young. It's just so much stuff out here that's taking us out. Prostate cancer. You over 40, get your prostate checked. All of them things are important. I gotta get used to taking vitamins. That's one of the things too, because I'm not really a pill taking person. Now I have to be really in pain or something like that to take pills. You know what I'm saying? And like one of the things I'm trying to work on now is diet, and I'm trying to cut certain things out that I'm starting to get to the point, man, where I'm gonna have to go on the golden child diet. Eating a leaf or something, because I can't. A lot of this food now, man, I can't even take. It's like as soon as I eat it, my stomach hurting, or something, fried chicken or any type of little thing right now. And it's just, most of this food is building up inflammation in your system, and it's just nerve-wracking. So I don't know, but that's just my talk. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today to the Fat Cat Show. Definitely, that was too loud, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to the Fat Cat Show today. I want to thank Q Lewis, the Hood Howard Stern, y'all. Y'all check out his show too. He on E Block Radio. Y'all know what's up. And just thanks everybody for tuning in. Y'all stay safe out there. Do what you gotta do, and don't be out here hurting nobody. Amen. Don't be out here hurting nobody. We don't wanna do the wrong things and hurt other people and stuff like that. But definitely I'm gonna send out an APB for satellite. I don't know what happened to that guy tonight.
90 seconds.
I hate when that lady do that. But like I said, once again, y'all, be safe out here. Don't be driving fast and stuff like that. On my way back from church, I seen so many accidents right now. That road is out there slippery from all that rain and stuff like that. So we gotta definitely drive careful. And a young lady lost her life this weekend, so but thank
60 seconds.
Thank God her kids didn't get killed. So that's they were in the same car. I forgot the details of it, but my heartfelt condolences goes out to that family also. But anyway, y'all, it's been real. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and make sure you subscribe to the Fat Cat Show Network on YouTube, and you can catch the old replays on there, and also subscribe to me on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, all the above platforms. Y'all show your love. Definitely. And thanks to all of those who did subscribe when I sent
10 seconds.
when I sent that post out. But anyway, y'all, we up out of here. Thank you. One love.
Purchase your track.